All right. Well, that's how you know I'm rusty because I'm not even sharing my friggin' screen to play the audio, Shay. Well, I guess we're just going to get right into it. Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry. I thank you for letting me know, Shay.
No problem. I thought it was just me.
It's
I was like,
it's been a bit. I wasn't even sharing it, but it doesn't matter. Hello, everybody. I've missed everybody. Hello, Shay.
hello, everybody.
Hi, Jenny, Cicely, Kenzie. I know. No sound. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. That's a minute and a bit combined. It's been a minute. Hi, proud grandma of two. I'm so bored. I've been watching Alabama Barker and Bad Bobby. Bobby? Bad Bobby? Or
No,
Barbie?
Bad Baby. I love the Bad Baby
Is that
Alabama
the Catch
Barker
Me
song.
Outside? How about that?
Yes,
I
yes.
thought she was. Jesus. I thought she was Barbie.
No, it's Bad Baby. Remember I was telling you that they were having like basically, I don't know, like a battle.
Yes, you did say that.
Yeah.
Hello, C. Carter. Hi, Samantha. You guys, I'm so excited to be back tonight for Idaho specifically. I was just talking to Shay about this. There is so much to discuss. So much to discuss, and I'm ready. And we're a little bit behind, but that's okay because who cares, right? Um, Congratulations for your summer break. I hope you enjoy it. We're still in school until the 27th.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like with finals and stuff, the 27th.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I know. You do? Do I look Asian? You know what? Actually, Cicely, that wasn't like I've heard that before. I've been asked if I'm mixed because I have some, like, I don't know, I think my eyes, but I'm not Asian. But you pictured me as Asian. Wasn't the
And
first, but I heard that when I was in like high school. Beefing over a man. Battle of diss tracks. Hi, Lori. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. So let me pull up our missing child. So this is an active Amber Alert. The 25th. Wow. See, we don't go back until I think it's the first week in September.
oh wow.
Yeah. Which honestly, though, I think I'd prefer. Because August is so hot. Think about it. June, we've had a couple of hot days so far, but not beach weather, at least over here in New York. It's not beach weather yet. So I
Yeah,
would rather August.
we're usually out right before Memorial Weekend, and then we go back like the second or third week of August.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want, yeah, August is way too hot. It's way too hot.
Yeah.
Um, they go back mid July. When do you get out? Mid
Wow.
July.
Like, is
Yeah.
that all around your school? Do they still have those?
I don't know. I only know Long Island stuff. August 27th. That's better than like mid August. I couldn't imagine doing mid August.
It's just too hot here to do anything, so it's kind of best they go back. Like, nobody wants to be outside or in the pool. It's a scorcher. And
Is
we
it
start
really
getting,
hot by you?
oh yeah, yeah. We like
Um,
August is our hottest month in Texas, so we usually keep it like in the record hundreds all the way through September.
wow. We go back August 6th in Louisiana, and damn, it's hot. Yeah.
Hmm.
And not all classrooms have air conditioner.
What?
Mm-hmm.
In Long Island?
Mm-hmm. We didn't
What?
have air conditioner when I was in high school and stuff. Just the computer room. That's
That
it.
is wild.
Yeah. I know it should be a requirement because I remember taking final exams and being scorchered. Like it was, I could not even focus on the test because of how hot it was.
Yeah, that's miserable. No way.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Julie. Okay, so this is an active Amber Alert, and this is Kai Foreman. Kai has been missing since June 16th, which is today, 2025, from Norfolk, Virginia. He is 4 years old. He is black, with black hair, brown eyes. He is 3 foot 6 inches tall, 40 pounds. Last seen wearing red Crocs, blue shorts, gray True Religion t-shirt. And then we have an update with the correct spelling for child is Kai, Kai. Virginia State Police and Virginia Missing Child Clearinghouse have issued an Amber Alert on behalf of the Norfolk Police Department for a child abduction that occurred on June 16, 2025 at 11:40 hours. The child is believed to be in extreme danger and was last seen at the 900 block of East Liberty Street. Abducted is Kai Foreman, age 4, black male, black hair, black eyes, brown. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Black hair, brown eyes, 3'6", 40 pounds. Okay. The child is believed to have been abducted by Tylee Mika Scott, age 27, race black, sex male, hair black and small braids, eyes brown, 6'1", weight 173 pounds, last seen wearing khakis, plaid shirt, and a ski mask. Oh gosh, they were last seen on foot. And then here's Tylee Scott. That does not sound good so far, I'll be honest. It does not sound good.
No, not at all. That is terrifying.
No. So please don't hesitate. If you have information, either call 911 or the Norfolk Police Department at 757-664-7000. That is not good circumstances. I'm wondering if there's a connection, right?
Yeah. Can we click on his thing? I was curious. Like, is there relation?
So it says the same. He's the suspect.
Okay.
Child is believed to. Yeah, it doesn't say any additional information. That's that's concerning. And a mask, like what? Oh, so prayers this poor baby boy is found and returned home safely. But yeah, this is today, so 11:40 this morning. Okay, so.
Oh, they said he's considered to be armed and dangerous.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not good. And that it's hard, Jenny, because sometimes a lot of the times that you could make the presumption that it's a paternal parent, but it didn't give enough information with this. I've been Homer, don't even ask. I had the move and then work, and it's just been, I need to find like a consistent schedule now and a new routine. It's just going to take me a minute. So, but I'm glad to be back and I'm happy to be back. And if anything's going to pull me back, it's Kohberger and the recent stuff that's been coming out. I know. So there's that. I know. Okay. So first things first, because I know that there's a lot of documents and stuff that we have to go through, but put a fall in the chat if you have seen Amazon Prime's new trailer. I think it's a limited series, Shay. Like, I think it's going to be a few episodes because it didn't say like documentary. It said series, like mini series or something. Thanks, Knuckle Sandwich. So Kenzie, you've seen it. Okay. Because me and Jay haven't even had a chance to talk about this yet, but I'm shocked. I'm shook. Hi, Holly. You don't know how you feel about it. The first thing that I'll say, and I'm going to play it for anyone who hasn't watched it, but the first thing I'm going to say is my heart has broke seeing Hunter Johnson. Shay, he looks like he's aged, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying he looks like he's aged 10 years in the last year. And I could imagine with what he's gone through and the trauma and the stress that would do it. But he lost weight. My heart broke.
Right. Yeah, he looked very different from what we've seen, and just the videos from they've had the cops called there for noise, but even in whatever he was doing at the memorial, he looks very different.
Very, very different. And so Amazon Prime dropped that they dropped the trailer for this new series that's coming out, and it's coming out, I think, July 11th, I believe. And I am blown away with who is in this so far. Everyone, the Chapins, Maddie's parents, Emily, Hunter, There was even someone else that we weren't aware was in the house. Like, there is a lot. So we're going to watch this. Maybe I'll let it play through once on its own. And then I'll probably react in real time. So I don't know. But if I have to play it again without my interruptions, I will. But I know I'm going to interrupt a lot, most likely. So we're going to take a look at this because there was a lot released, even in the 2 minutes, just the 2-minute trailer. Hi, Leon. You never saw it? Okay, ready, Bogart? It's crazy. So I'll put this on. Okay, here we go.
These kids were just having the best time of their lives.
Damn it.
Nobody could have imagined what was about to happen.
4 University of Idaho students were found murdered in their...
Hold on. Where does it keep going when I leave the screen? Okay, if I press play.
Off-campus residents.
The attack was targeted with a quote.
Where does it keep going, Shay? Picture-in-picture play. Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize I was on mute. I'm sorry. It just goes from minimizing to maximizing of the screen.
Yeah, but usually when I switch to my StreamYard side, it'll jump over and I have the option to take it out of picture-in-picture, but it's not giving me the option.
These kids were just
disappearing.
Why time of their lives. Nobody could have imagined what was about to happen.
4 University of Idaho students were found murdered in their off-campus residence.
The attack was targeted with a quote, edged weapon.
Okay.
I set foot in the
Here
house.
we go. Now.
These kids were just having the best time of their lives. Nobody could have imagined what was about to happen.
4 University of Idaho students were found murdered in their off-campus residence.
The attack was targeted with a quote, edged weapon.
I set foot in the house, and immediately Hunter was like, "Get out! Somebody call 911."
The question everybody wants answered is why? Why these 4 kids?
This can't be true. I mean, this is Idaho. Your kid's supposed to be safe, going off to college, have a good time.
We were a big group of friends. Why would you target those 4? There's a big realization that we had been stalked for so many months and had no clue.
People were panicking. People were really fearful.
There's this person out there who had just murdered our brother, and he's still out there somewhere.
Moscow police put out very little information.
Rumors and speculation just started to fill the silence. How could they not tell us what's going on?
Dylan and Bethany were getting blamed.
Completely slandered on the internet.
People were thinking that we were murderers.
We're getting death threats. People always suspect the boyfriend.
Somebody had sent a photo of my house. Now people know my address and saying I have something to do with it.
I got a phone call from the officer, and he said that we have a suspect in custody.
I just felt my heartbeat go crazy fast. I know that guy.
My mom said, "It's over." And I said, "No, Mom, it's just the beginning."
Okay, now I need to go back and I'm going to start it, but I'm going to be pausing for every huge thing that we need to discuss along the way.
Okay.
Hi, Carolyn Cooper. Are you ready, Shay? Because there was a lot.
Yes.
Harley, I'm so far out of the algorithm at this point because I've gone weeks really without going live at all. So it's probably going to be like that for a bit. But I'm here. Just make sure your notifications are set. All right.
And hit the like button.
Yeah, you could hit the like button, dislike button, whatever you prefer. But thanks, everyone, for being here. Thanks, Jean. MJ, I'm going to have to ask you to smile right now because it's a nice smile. And it's not like you've deprived from a bait. This must be Jack. Between the last $10 super chat, like last week when I went live asking about rainbow bagels, I'm going to assume this is Jack. Is this Jack? Thank you either way. And I have been deprived of bagels, actually. I can't even imagine. I know. But here's the thing, okay? We have heard a lot from the Goncalveses. A lot. And that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying this is so far filled with all of the people we haven't heard a word from.
Right.
And so that's why I'm going to go back and we're going to play it. We're going to pause because I don't think people realize like how much is in here. But the first thing that I'm going to say is, Shay, why now? Why are they dropped like between the Dateline, which, okay, I can understand that because none of them spoke out. But these are people who have not said a word. Now you have to remember, family and friends are not under a gag order unless like they're an actual witness. They're not under a gag order. But why a little over a month and a half before trial starts? Shay.
No, yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking a lot because I think it is interesting. One, the platform and it being like a new series, right? When there's been so much in the Dateline and 48 Hours area, right? There's been like a couple spinoffs from ID to the Paramount stuff that we've seen at Cyber Sleuth. So I'm just curious, like, or maybe that is part of their grieving process. Maybe they're finally in that moment where they're ready to talk. I mean, because remember they changed their mind even about possibly going to trial.
Yeah, the Chapins, yes. But it's so peculiar to me because they went so long. Hunter, Emily, the other Hunter, Emily's roommate, which we didn't know she was in the house. She went in the house too. But even in this, we get a little bit more clarity. And I know Good Morning America plays another clip, and I'll show you guys that. But there's just so much in here. And I'm like, don't get me wrong. I am so anxious to see this. But why so close to trial right after Dateline airs, which I already know that they'd be in the making of this anyway. But the judge was not happy about that. But the difference is I don't know if this is going to include actual evidence against Kohberger versus their testimonies, their experiences. This happened to them.
Right. And I was just reading too that I guess Amazon that's filming this is partnered with MGM Studios. So they signed with a major studio company.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, Samantha, they didn't push the trial back. I really do not see Judge Hippler pushing that trial back unless he really has no other option. But there was so much said, so let's break this down.
These kids were just having the best time of their lives. Nobody could have imagined what was about to happen.
4 University of Idaho students were found murdered in their off-campus residence.
So this is Ethan's dad. We've heard from Ethan's parents. Now you have to remember, initially they weren't going to go to trial. You want to talk to them about that?
Yeah, so they had talked about not going to trial. I think just they were trying to find a path forward and let justice, carry out. But as time has approached, and I think other families have shared opinions and more evidence has come out through orders that they were rethinking it, basically, is the way Stacy explained it. And I think that was like on one of the Fox Seattle or Spokane, because she usually only talks to like local media unless she was like promoting Ethan's foundation or the Boy Who Wore Blue book. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I had heard that they had signed either the rights over for, I didn't know if it was a book deal, I couldn't remember, or like a movie or something. It was mentioned not long after some of, I think, the talks of when Howard Bloom's book came out, because there was like a lot of criticism there.
Yeah. I wonder if they all speak. And they all like kind of unanimously agreed that this is something they would do. But one of the first things that I found interesting is that the Goncalveses weren't in it. Now that doesn't mean anything. Like, and I'm not trying to read too much into it. Like I said, the Goncalveses have been definitely the most outspoken family, but that's why it's so nice to be able to hear from the others. But I'm surprised if I'm looking at it through like a production mind frame, why they wouldn't. Obviously, the more victims' families, the better. And so, did you think about that at all?
Yes, and I think hold on, just to add to that. So I went back to what I was stating before, and I'm just pulling up Wikipedia, so don't shoot the messenger. This is me explain it. But so I thought that they had signed with James Patterson for a book, and they did. So this documentary series that Amazon's putting out allegedly is going to be based on James Patterson's book. So in July 2024, Amazon Prime Video is set to distribute this series and direct it. So they've been targeted, I guess, for that. Says they signed their book rights, the Chapin family, with James Patterson, and now it's being turned into this docuseries with Amazon. So why come out now? Well, it's closer to the trial, so I assume.
I don't know. The timing's interesting, you know. The timing's interesting.
James Patterson's book is out, though. I haven't read it, and I didn't see it like get as much of a, I don't know, as much coverage like Howard Bloom's did and Mr. Appleman or whatever.
I heard about it in Anne's motion, right? When she was detailing the Dateline, James Patterson's book.
Yeah, the Idaho 4
yeah.
It's called The Idaho 4, An American Tragedy. It's co-authored. It's James Patterson and Vicki Ward.
I haven't heard really anyone talk about it.
And yeah, I think.
Well, and Cicely, a book could be out without the conclusion because unless it's claiming, hey, this is what happened specifically, but you could write a book about anything, right? Like they're not bound by a gag order. You could do your investigative journalism. It's just the certain people who are held. But think about it. Think about, you know, we're covering Casey Anthony. Think about Casey Anthony and how much media attention was everywhere, you know, and a lot of times in these cases, you hear a lot before trial happens. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, but how can, think of it as James Patterson, who's going to stop James Patterson from writing a book, from doing their own investigation? You know, the only time that would be an issue is if anybody under the gag order is releasing sensitive, confidential information the way that 48 Hours seem to have. Not 48 Hours. Wait, is it? Dateline.
Yeah. And currently right now, the book on Kindle is #1 in new releases in mass murder biographies and memoirs. Interesting. Now I want to know what's in that book.
I know. Me too. Okay, so this is Mr. Chapin. Okay, so Ethan's dad, the triplets' dad.
The attack was targeted with a, quote, edged weapon.
Do you know what that was? Xana's bedroom.
Can you rewind that part?
Mm-hmm. And they'll show it again.
Their off-campus residence.
I don't know if it's a replay.
The attack was targeted with a, quote, edged weapon.
I set foot in the house, and immediately Hunter was like, get out, somebody call 911.
Right there. That was Emily's roommate. I don't know what her name is. Do you know what her name is?
Emily's roommate?
Hunter's girlfriend, Emily's roommate. Is that not?
I didn't know her roommate's name.
I don't know her roommate's name, but I'm pretty sure that's who that is. And so that's another person who was there at the time 911 was called. And we heard from the beginning there were kids filled that house. You remember those infamous photos? There were so many. But she went in.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Now we have the infamous cowboy boots in Maddie's window. See, these are Xana's pictures. That's the fuzzy chair that he sat in. You see? So I don't know, like they recreated it or what. But down to the photos. Look at the photos.
Wow.
That was her dad. That's the chair that she had, the white fuzzy chair.
Is that just a still shot or was this like a video? I wonder if it was an old picture.
I don't know if they took it from like an old photo that they had and kind of like did their special effects type of thing, or they recreated it. But we had only recently found out the killer sat down. The killer sat down and left an impression in Xana's chair. So just to see that, it's really starting to like give you that mental image.
Wow.
Yeah. But I don't know if you could see, like you could see Maddie, you could see Xana, you could see all of them in those photos just like Xana had.
Weapon.
I set foot in the house and immediately Hunter was like, get out, somebody call 911.
The question everybody wants answered is why? Why these 4 kids?
This can't be true. I mean,
That was Maddie's mom and her stepdad. Now, I didn't see Maddie's bio dad in here yet, but that's her stepdad, and that was her mom. So again, a lot of the families that we haven't heard speak out. Emily went in but didn't go upstairs. I don't remember anything official saying that Emily's roommate. That's what I'm saying. You heard what she just said. I don't like, she stepped in and then Hunter immediately was like, get out, get out, get out.
I'm baffled by that. Now I really want to know. Like, are we misinterpreting it? Like, I don't know.
I don't remember if it's, I think it's the Good Morning America. There's another clip that I'll find that has a little bit more. No, that wasn't Emily. I'll show you Emily. Emily's the blonde. Hi, Lisa. But they say a little, like it's a little bit different of a clip, a very quick clip, but I'll find it too.
Do you want me to send it to you?
Sure. No, that's not Emily. Emily is the blonde. You'll see Emily. Hold on.
These 4 kids.
this can't be true. I mean, this is Idaho. Your kid's supposed to be safe, going off to college, have a good time.
We were a big group of friends. Why would you target those 4? There's a big realization that we had been stalked for so many months and had.
This is Emily. Hunter's. I don't know if they're still together or not. Isn't this Emily?
I thought so.
Yes. So the other one is Emily's roommate, as far as I'm understanding. They absolutely, Harlot, absolutely. But this is Emily. And I don't know if her and Hunter are still together. I'm curious if they are, but just personally curious if they are. Ashlyn? Ashlyn wasn't there.
I thought Ashlyn was in one of the clips.
Are you talking about the brunette or are you talking about the blonde harlot? Welcome, Planet Damnation. Thank you for joining. Ashlyn lived at one to. Right, she wasn't there. I'm saying. But you're talking about the brunette, right?
That's definitely Emily.
Right. Maybe the brunette is Ashlyn, maybe. I took it as Emily's roommate. No, I'm pretty sure this is Emily. Here, I think it'll be easier when I play the other clip because if I'm remembering correctly, she explains more. But here, let's continue.
There's a big realization that we had been stalked for so many months and had no clue.
Right there, though. Sorry, I don't mean to pause again. Stalked for so many months. What's the issue with that, Shay?
Well, I think they're meaning based on what's come out that, you know, he was watching the house and saving the friends.
Photos?
Yeah, saving the friends or other people's pictures and things like that. I don't know, maybe some of those people are in this.
That's what I thought. I was like, wow, with that Dateline episode, there were so many photos of all of the victims' friends. But as far as we know, which is so crazy, not a photo of any of them. But did those photos contain maybe Emily, maybe Ashlyn? Who knows? But Idaho's, I think, law or statute as far as what is considered stalking is you have to be aware that they're doing it or something like that. Isn't that?
Well, yeah. There's an awareness of it. The legal definition of stalking for Idaho is specific, so I think it's probably more probably appropriate to say surveillance. Like they had to have been knowing that they were being stalked,
which is crazy.
Yeah,
exactly. Hope, like, what if you don't know? So because they did in court, this was a big issue previously because in the jury questioning, they had something about, were you aware that Bryan Kohberger stalked the victims? And so they had a whole big back and forth about the definition of stalking. And I guess it doesn't meet their legal definition.
Right.
It wasn't their legal definition of stalking, but I believe he was. Yeah, it seems, hey, Wolfie, it seems like, do you think he was surveilling the house or them, Shay?
I think that based on what we've only seen like court documents, right? Like it's one side, we don't have like the full picture, but it sounded like that area is what he became interested in. So I kind of was curious if maybe he got fixated on the house or maybe ran into one of the girls. I mean, I'm still kind of up in the air on that.
Me too.
But the fact that he went directly to Maddie's room says something to me.
Yeah, I'm starting to think more and more Maddie was the target.
Yeah.
I believe that, little D. I do believe that. And Peach 911, thank you, says the person had to be aware they were being stalked and had to be in fear for it to be considered stalking in Idaho. So Emily could be saying that, and I could believe it to be true, while also it being true that in that courtroom, it does not meet the standard of stalking.
Had been stalked for so many months and had no clue.
People were panicking. People were really fearful.
There's this person out there who had just murdered our brother, and he's
the triplets. Ethan was a triplet, if you did not know, and so we have not heard from them. And this is his triplet sister and brother, and it's wow, like so the whole Chapin family, Shay. The whole Chapin family speaking out. Hi, Ruffian. I think the target was Maddie. Yeah. Oof. But do you think he was at that vigil? Right here. Do you think he was there, Shay?
No. I think he probably watched it online, but I don't think he was there.
Is there anyone in the chat who thinks Kohberger was there? I never I don't feel one way or another about it, but especially finding out that he was watching YouTubes and following the case, like you said, he probably watched it online. It's not Bethany, but they do look similar, Samantha, definitely. Now, Bethany can't speak because she is bound by the gag order being such a major witness. No, he was busy taking his shower curtain off. You don't think he would have showed up, Michelle? A stalker is always watching from somewhere. Yeah. He was close by. Don't know. Interesting. Okay.
I want to go back and look at it. The gag order, was that just for the surviving victims? Hold on.
I thought it was for anyone involved in the investigation, the family's lawyers, and then witnesses.
But Ethan and Emily, or sorry, Hunter and Emily.
You know what? That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to have to check that. And thank you, Proud Grandma, too, for being a member for 5 months. 5 amazing months in this group of people. Yeah, thank you so much. When we see more search activity on his phone for that one person, well, we really don't know. Honestly, like what came out in that Dateline, we didn't have any idea about that. So who knows what's going to come out. But yes, for there being no direct connection between Kohberger and the victims, yet being such an overlap with all of their friends, that's so interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, you're right, though. The gag, maybe was it just for the surviving victims?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Because if you remember, Justin would be like, well, she's bound by the gag order, blah, 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 you know, so I, working for the defense, you know, I'm going out on her behalf. But yeah, oh God, it's been years. Can you believe it's been years?
It's wild.
That's true, Harlot. That is true. I'm not sure, Little D. I'm not sure.
There's this person out there who had just murdered our brother, and he's still out there somewhere.
Moscow police put out very little information.
Rumors and speculation just started to fill the silence. How could they not tell us what's going on?
Who was that? Hi, Jonesin. Who was that?
Rewind that part.
Fill the silence. How could they not tell us what's going on?
Right there. Who dat? She looks familiar, but I can't. Hi, Carrie. Who is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to put it together. I mean, it's definitely not Ashlyn's mom.
No. She lived with them. Are you talking about Ashlyn, Carrie? I don't know.
Dylan and Bethany were getting blamed.
Completely slandered on the internet.
People were thinking that we were murderers.
We're getting
Okay. Look at
completely slandered on the internet.
People were thinking that we were murderers.
And listen, I'm not saying it to be mean. I'm just saying my heart breaks because you could tell he's lost weight. And he looks, and see, I don't like saying that because I'm not trying to say it in a mean way, versus you could tell it's been rough for him. And what he had to see, nobody should ever have to see. And I just admire his strength to even be able to talk about it honestly. Maddie's mom was in there, yeah. And stepdad.
I don't know if I have like I don't have a photo comparison, but I have the video from his memorial service. He
Mhm.
looks so different.
He looks extremely different. But I think it's important because people blamed him too. Just like they're saying, people accuse us of being involved. And that's what I feel like I'm seeing. I'm seeing the impact of not only the trauma, but that what the world did in the years to follow, even up to currently, blaming conspiracy theories involving him. Like, could you imagine?
I think of kind of like what he saw, what they went through, but then I also think of what Bethany and Dylan have gone through, probably 20 times worse, because they were in the house and, the allegations that get thrown their way. I mean, it's awful.
Yeah.
I would assume PTSD.
100%. I couldn't imagine going through that and then having the world accuse you of having involvement. It's gotta, so when I see him, I just feel great sadness because, especially covering true crime and stuff, you are able to distance a bit, but then you have to remind yourself, well, these are real people, these are real victims, and there's real damage that's going to be done. And that's what we always had the major issue with WSU Mom Kim. But then to see him, and I don't like as if he looks bad versus you could just tell it's taken its impact.
Yeah, he looks just different to me. I was wondering if it was the lighting at first.
The haircut isn't the best either, to be fair, but he's lost weight.
Yeah, he had a little bit fuller of face. I think his hair was a little bit more like longer on the sides, kind of like that Beach Boy kind of look.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah. But it even makes me question because that we all play a part in it, and we're all just trying to figure out the answers. But just to see it in front of you now, it makes you realize the major disconnect that you have. And I don't know. Yeah, I feel bad. He aged a decade in 3 years. He sure did.
People were thinking that we were murderers.
We're getting death threats. People always suspect the boyfriend.
Somebody had sent a photo of my house.
Emily?
People always suspect the boyfriend.
Hold on. Okay, so this is him around the time of the murders, guys. So you see the difference. It's taken its impact. Hi, Beautifully Broken. Xana, you could tell she was just the life of a party.
I mean, it's been a few years. I mean, I think some of them have graduated. We know the triplets graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I would expect maybe a little bit of changes, but I think that it would be understanding that they've just been through a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so this is Emily in front of Hunter. So right
somebody had.
See? Ethan, Xana, Hunter, Emily.
Sent a photo of my house. Now people know my address. And
Okay, so wait, hold on. I need to. So that was Emily. See, she's just matured. She looks beautiful.
People were thinking that we were murderers.
We're getting.
So this is Emily. So the brunette in the beginning, I assumed was Emily's roommate. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong about that. But look who comes up next. Okay.
Death threats. People always suspect the boyfriend.
Somebody had sent a photo of my house. Now people know my address and saying I have something to do with it.
Right there. Shay, you want to tell them?
Sent a photo of my house. Now people know my address and saying.
I was shook when I saw this. Do you want to explain who he is?
Oh, yeah. From they're the guys that were They were listed in. Well, I know that there was people were following them on Instagram because some of their postings, but I think they were also listed in the 4chan.
And then the Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
The fucking Ring doorbell. This
The Ring
went
doorbell.
viral. Oh my God, there were so many channels that I shall not name here, that very heavily pushed this person's involvement. I don't even know his name, but when I saw it, I was like, because it was like a flashback, and I was like, wow, like it really makes you realize the gravity and the scale of how many people were affected.
Oh yeah, I'm double checking.
Friend, somebody had sent a photo of my house. Now people know my address and saying I have something to do with it.
I got a phone call from the officer, and he said that we have a suspect in custody.
I just felt my heartbeat go crazy fast. I know that guy.
Now, who is that?
I just felt my heartbeat go crazy.
We don't, as far as I don't know this person. Is this a Kohberger friend? Is he a fellow teacher, a student? Like what?
I've seen him in an interview. Yeah, I've seen him in an interview.
Do you know what his involvement is?
I'll need to think on that. Because some of these people, because they age, so I'm like capturing things in a photographic memory, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, you may be right, Harlot. And thank you so much, Little D, for 3 months. Whoa, it's my member's anniversary. Thank you. Harlot would say, no, actually, you know what? Now that you say that, you might be right. I was thinking the ski mask was the pic taken by the water tower that night, and the doorbell cam was a hard black plastic mask, but it's been a while. No, you might be right, actually. Because now that you said that, the image popped in my mind of another DoorDash photo. Not DoorDash, I'm sorry. What is it called? Ring? A ring photo. That's BK's old friend, Casey Arndt's brother, if I remember correctly. Thank you. And thank you, Joneson, for 9 months. Thanks for the reminder. Thank you. Yeah, he was at the pool party. And that was in the Dateline episode of him being creepy. That is the kid that went running with BK. What did he speak out in? There's just so much.
I know.
Oh, the mask guy they said was Dylan's boyfriend.
Well, that was one theory. There's been a lot. People were trying to align the face to the mask, and
oh my God, there's so much in here.
I should have done more research.
No. Well, first of all, I should have, but I like to react in real time. But there's so much to unpack. No, I don't have a Ring doorbell. I don't have a doorbell to ring. Anyway, no, I meant this guy was at the pool party with DJ. What's his name? I love that name. That was the best DJ name. What was it? PH DJ? What was it?
Yeah. It was
something fabulous. They'll find an untainted jury. We thought the same thing during Vallow. Thought the same thing during Stauk. They'll find it. It's actually really because if you're a follower of true crime, I understand asking yourself, Catalyst PhDJ, yes, thank you, yes. But if you venture out into your real world, like if I ask 99% of the people in my real life, have you heard of the Idaho murders? No. So they'll find a jury.
I just felt my heartbeat go crazy fast. I know that guy.
My mom said, it's over. And I said, no, Mom, it's just the beginning.
Now, who is that? Is that Ashlyn?
I think it may be.
Gotcha, Harlot. Right, little D. That's not Ashlyn. Then Peach, is this Ashlyn? Is this gonna bother me?
Ashlyn has really dark hair.
Idaho students were found murdered in their off-campus residence.
The attack was targeted with a quote, edged weapon.
I set foot in the house and immediately Hunter was like, get out, somebody call 911.
That.
Edged weapon.
I set foot in the house.
I assume that was Emily's roommate.
That doesn't look like Ashlyn. Yeah, that's not Ashlyn.
That's what was throwing me for a loop. Is that not Emily's roommate?
I don't know who her roommates were.
I just don't know her name. Hi, MK. It makes them, because I want to know who was in that house. It makes the most sense, Emily's roommate. That's true, Harlot. And it's every Uber driver if they were following. Yeah, see, Lisa Marie? See? Okay, if nobody knows, I'm going to just jump back forward.
I'm like, I feel like I'm failing the quiz.
That guy.
My mom said, it's over. And I said, no, Mom, it's just the beginning.
Okay. Let me show. Let me get the Good Morning America because there was more.
It seems like everybody's growing up too.
Mm-hmm.
Like their face looks so familiar. I'm like,
Okay.
College murders case. Key witnesses are speaking publicly for the first time. It's all part of a new docuseries. Kana Whitworth has the story. Good morning, Kana.
Yeah, George, good morning. The docuseries is called One Night in Idaho, The College Murders, and it reveals exactly what happened the morning after the murders, the panic, fear, and chaos of uncovering the most brutal crime that Moscow had ever seen and how those closest to the victims learned of the tragedy.
This morning, an exclusive first look at a new docuseries revealing what happened the morning after 4 University of Idaho students were murdered in an off-campus home.
Nobody could have imagined what was about to happen.
The friends who were first on scene telling their story in Prime Video's One Night in Idaho, The College Murders.
We were a big group of friends. Why would you target those 4?
Emily Allant, her boyfriend Hunter.
See, I knew it from somewhere. Emily Allant, so that's Emily, with her boyfriend Hunter.
We're a big group of friends. Why would you target those 4?
Emily Allant, her boyfriend Hunter Johnson, and roommate Josie Louderin lived.
There we go. See, it was in my head. I just didn't remember where I knew it from, but it was this damn clip. So yeah, thank you, Peach. So what do you think, Shay, now knowing that not only Emily and Hunter went in, but her roommate went in too?
that's interesting. I don't.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, super interesting.
So were they not mentioned because what we've seen was coming from that 911 transcript?
It seems like she did not see anything. As soon as she went in, Hunter came running out. And get out, which that's interesting. Hunter was already inside the house by the time Josie got there. Now, did Josie walk over with Emily and Hunter? Did Josie walk over separate? I'd like to know.
Wait. The text messages. There was a J. Bethany was texting a J. Remember? And were we thinking that it was her boyfriend's sister or something?
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Do you
pull
remember
that up.
that? Because it was a J. And I remember we were like, could it be the...
Oh. And thank you, Carrie, for 13 months. Thank you so much.
Because
Oh.
I remember we were reading over whenever the defense like provided their response on something with the 911 text and calls, and they were like, provide more.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to pull that up. See, putting it all together.
University of Idaho students were murdered in an off-campus home.
Nobody could have imagined what was about to happen.
The friends who were first on scene telling their story in Prime Video's One Night in Idaho, the college murders.
We were a big group of friends. Why would you target those four?
Emily Lott, her boyfriend Hunter Johnson, and roommate Josie Lauterin lived just down the street from the King Road house. And on that November morning, they say one of the surviving roommates called, saying she was scared, asking them to come over.
When Dylan had called, I didn't think it was urgent. So I started walking to Xana's house, and when we got there, Dylan and Bethany had exited the house.
Seeing her.
This has a lot more than what we watched earlier. I did not know this was okay.
Drive safe, so there's that. Uh-huh. So while they were walking over and there wasn't that urgency yet, Dylan and Bethany were exiting that front door.
When we got there, Dylan and Bethany had exited the house.
Seeing her friends sitting in the driveway, Emily knew right away something was wrong.
They frightened, just kind of like just hands on their mouth, like, I don't know what's going on type thing.
Hunter immediately went to investigate.
When I was going up the stairs, Hunter Johnson was already in the house. We were just a bit behind.
As soon as I stepped in the house, I was like, oh, something is so not right.
Okay, this is where I was wondering, because I was trying not to go down the Reddit rabbit hole, but then of course saw some stuff. So people felt like some of the clips were out of context, that they were like, the 911 call was faked. See, this was not their actual like uttered reaction. But if Hunter went down there first and then the girls followed behind, it makes a little bit more sense to me.
Yep. But I'm just so surprised we never knew that yet. And so Dylan and Bethany were already out front by the time they arrived. Interesting.
We were just a bit behind.
As soon as I stepped in the house, I was like, oh, something is so not right. Like you could feel it almost.
They didn't know it yet, but their very best friends, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Kaylee Goncalves, and Madison Mogen, had all been murdered. Hunter was the first to realize the tragedy, and he's heard on the 911 call rushing everyone outside. Ethan was the eldest of triplets, and his siblings, Hunter and Maisie, were also attending the University of Idaho. They were called to the home amid the panic.
And we heard about that so early on. There was even a lot of speculation that Ethan's brother, Hunter, was the one who found them. But they were called to the house amidst that panic. I'm really heartbroken at the thought of how did his siblings find out? Thank you so much, MK. Congratulations. Anybody who may have got them, welcome. Right, Peach 9/11. Right. And it seems like they may have creeped inside all the girls together, and that's when he came running. I don't know. It's hard because even the court documents don't depict. It's almost like it depicts it twice. It says that this happened prior to 911 being called, yet we hear that happening on the 911 call. So it's a little bit confusing. Thank you, MK. Hi, Kathy Joe. Yeah, too many Hunters and Jacks, yeah. But they were called over during, which, who called and what did you say?
But it would be hours before they would all learn what really happened to their friends. And now they were trying to understand the worst homicide the small town of Moscow, Idaho had ever seen.
There's this person out there who had just murdered our brother, and he's still out there somewhere.
Now, Ethan's parents and siblings featured in that series, and later this month, we'll have a chance to speak with them along with Hunter and Emily. Maddie's parents were also interviewed for the series. One Night in Idaho, The College Murders, premieres July 11th on Prime Video. And you guys, that is exactly 1 month before this trial is set to start, guys.
We know you've been.
Now, listen, I cannot wait to watch that. But I can say, with that being said, it makes me nervous. I don't think anything can be done. It's their testimonies, of what happened. They can speak. But I don't know. How do you think?
I don't feel indifferent about it. I mean, as long as it's not releasing, I think, some of the information that put the Judge Hippler, in concern of with the dateline, and they kind of stay behind the line of court,
Mm-hmm.
and they're airing. I don't think it could be a problem. I mean, what would be any different than all the other, docuseries that have come out? I mean, there has been, friends of Bryan's that have spoken before. There's been other friends and of some of the girls that have been in some of the series or shows that we've seen.
Yeah. In what way, Cicely? Is Anne going to use it the way she used Dateline? Perhaps, but Dateline, she had more footing because it is obvious that information restricted by the gag order was leaked at one time or another. But as far as this, no, I'm going to have to go back over that gag order to refresh my memory, but they're allowed to speak, that this is their experiences. And so they're allowed to talk about it. It's not anything as far as evidence against Bryan Kohberger that's going to be used at trial. That was really more Dateline.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is, Leon. So the second part of what's come out is we apparently now are aware who the DoorDash driver is. And this has been a source of so much speculation. I have not watched this yet. This we're playing from Drunk Turkey Show. The link is in the description. But you could probably give a better synopsis since I haven't watched it, Shay, of what is really going on here.
So allegedly a video of somebody being into custody, that they were pulled over and arrested in, I believe, Pullman, has come out that when they were in custody, they stated that they were going to be a witness in the a murder trial coming up of the Idaho college girls that were killed. I didn't watch the full intake video. I've heard there's some speculation a little bit about it, but I did watch Drunk Turkey shows. Daniel made sure to just use the initials of the driver. I saw Harlot was in there and asked some good questions because I was wondering who would have found this information, looked it up, and I don't see why it would benefit for the prosecution to release, because basically from what Daniel's submitted, his sources and information that he's got, was that it's possible that this DoorDash driver actually saw Bryan and saw his car come around and loop around and look up that Xana's window or something. It's pretty interesting. Oh, Plunder has it. Yeah.
Did Plunder redact? Does anyone know?
I don't know. I know that what I heard was she bitched her late husband that passed, that allegedly she witnessed his murder or death. Like she mentions like his name and last name, but I didn't think that that last name wasn't redacted from what Drunk Turkey showed, but he never said the first name of the DoorDash driver.
They're almost the same time. Okay, so do you know if she says anything when she's pulled over? Because
so allegedly she gets pulled over for a DUI or whatever, and she had earlier taken a prescribed medication, like like maybe a hydrocodone or something. I can't remember what it was. But then she also was sick and had taken some cough medicine, and she seemed to be just maybe talking a little off. I don't know. I didn't watch it. That's not my opinion. That's just what I heard.
yeah, Plunder's usually good, but you can't remember she said her full name. Okay. Because I like to play the originals versus commentary, but I also don't want to blast her stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then here, wait, let me just flip back then.
Do you want me to check the transcript real quick?
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, I'll check the transcript.
Hi, Rando. She gives her first name, but surname was left out. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good.
This is, ooh, I don't see what I think I'm interested in is that no one found this out. Like, I don't know if anyone has known, but only first name. Thank you. I don't know. So it says Plunder True Crime Translation, and then now have to testify in the big murder case here because I'm the DoorDash driver. So yeah, the murder case of the college girls. I'm the DoorDash driver. I saw Bryan Kohberger there. I parked right next to him. What?
Yeah. And she does say her name as, yeah.
Her first name?
I'm just seeing the first name right now. I'm just going through it. She just says, I'll just call her, and then says her first name.
Okay.
But I think that there's another version where people had gotten it where the
I'm sure.
person says the last name, and I just didn't watch that.
Yeah, of course. But I could probably, is it right in the beginning that she says that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think where Plunder's introducing it. But yeah, I mean, the name gets said a few times throughout the transcript, just the first name.
Okay.
The initials have been out there, though, since recently.
It's going to be out there soon. But yeah, just keep it respectful, guys. I know you guys always will, but don't want to be too quick to judge. This was the DoorDash driver, Samantha, and thank you so much, Tracy, for becoming a member. So we haven't known what the DoorDash driver saw before. We just know that the DoorDash driver and Bryan seemingly overlap with one another. So it's always been a huge point of contention of what did the DoorDash driver see? So I have not seen this yet. I have not watched it. I know Shay only watched a very little bit of it. And so I'm super excited to check this out. Hi, Elvin. Hi, Pickle. Hi, ATS News. That's right, Harlot? I need to know that. All right, so let's take a watch. This is September 5th. Oh, so this is older. Okay. Mother, what is happening with that?
What's your name? What are we doing? What's your name? What are we doing? Well, I was going to ask you if you do some voluntary field sobriety tests. I can do them, but I won't pass them. Okay, why won't you pass? Because I have fibromyalgia, I have arthritis, I have a lot of issues with my body. It's very broken. I have nerve damage. I went through this reporting last time. Okay.
So what's your name?
Molly, my boy has my ID. I'm trying to call my boyfriend. It's his truck. Jimmy. Jordan could be over again. Yeah, I'm in Walmart parking lot. The tags, and now they're DUI. So just DUI again. 510. Same stuff. Can you get here, please?
Okay, Tracy.
Molly did tell me about taking a pain pill.
No, I'm not.
Tell you what kind
I'm
of
standing over here in Walmart parking lot. I was going to take
Molly?
you to the bathroom.
Did you say what type of pain pill it was? I'm sorry if I missed it. Was it
it was a hydrocodone, yes.
Was it a 5 milligram or a 3?
No, it's 10 milligrams.
Oh, a 10
I
milligram.
don't
Okay.
have a 3. I've been on
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
A 3. They don't.
I'm sorry. I don't know my pain.
I think after that leg thing, it would be really familiar.
I tried to use ibuprofen and
This is
Tylenol.
2 different.
There's no way.
Jimmy, this is 2 different ones. Jordan's not talking to me. Please. Are you coming?
Hey, Molly, I
I'm on
kind of
the
need your
porch.
attention.
I know. I'm just. He's coming. He has stage 4 and cancer. He's dying. He's coming.
Can he drive?
He's having his friend drive him. He doesn't. Or no, he's probably. Are you bringing the Subaru? Okay, he's bringing the car. Yes, he can legally drive.
All right, Molly. Hey, we got time. When it's okay. So can
I know.
So can you hang up the phone?
Well,
I can't. I need to.
Here's the thing.
I told him.
I mean,
And I understand Little D because Little D says, I think they were being rude to her. Honestly, I have seen some pretty bad interactions with police officers. They don't have to let her call anyone. They don't, the fact that they didn't immediately arrest her, they don't have to do that. So I understand some people's interpretations, is, oh, they were being rude. In my interpretation, no, they actually gave her some grace, but I understand everyone's perspectives.
he knows where you are, and he's headed this way. There's not a whole lot of reason.
I would like to keep him on the phone.
Because you can put it on your car.
Here, I can hold it. And
No,
talk to him.
I just want to keep him on the phone. Yes, please.
Yeah, just put it on speaker.
That's all I want to do. Okay, that's it.
You can just put it on the hood.
I'm putting you on the
You
hood.
don't have to do
Okay,
that.
they're gonna try making me. I gotta try and do this Friday thing again.
Okay, well, I'll stay quiet. Let it do it. You're okay, babe.
I told him that I can't do it.
You know you're fine. You know you're sober.
Hey, Chase.
You know you're okay. Don't worry. I know it's trigger everything. God, oh my God.
Please hurry.
Okay, Molly, you want to put that on the hood so we can get started? And sooner it's started, sooner it's over,
It's
okay?
not my truck, officer. It's his truck.
So the meth in here is not yours?
What mess?
I'll be right there.
What are you talking about?
The drugs.
What drugs?
Anyway, the 43-year-old driver of the truck, Molly, was suspected of driving under the influence of prescription medications. So the decision was made that Officer Carpenter would handle this.
Okay, so sorry, pause. Who was the first to release this? Do you know? Who got this?
That's what I was actually just looking up whenever you started playing it, because I saw. So after you sent me the thing from Drunk Turkey Show, I saw that it was on a couple other smaller channels.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm gonna keep searching right now.
Because this is 2024, so I'm like, what
the date
triggered
is this video?
figuring this out
Yeah, what is the date? Can you or are you able to look?
of the arrest?
No, of when she posted the video. I don't know if it's easy.
One
day
day
ago.
ago. But that could also be June 14th, 2 days ago.
Okay. I'm looking.
I think Daniel was 4, if I'm not mistaken. What was it, Saturday? 3 or yeah. Okay.
DUI investigation. So eventually the woman was arrested for DUI. She was transported to the Pullman police station, even though we can later hear, if you watch the body cam, she did blow a 0 for alcohol. Therefore, there was a drug recognition expert,
I know Plunder did
the
it get
DRE,
first.
who was called in to interview this woman. Her goal was to determine if there were any other substances or medical conditions making Molly act the way she was acting.
Making the car. Search my truck. Okay.
What drugs?
No, I was just clarifying.
What drugs?
If there was drugs, they're not yours, right? Okay.
If there
Just wanna
was.
make sure.
He's coming.
So
Okay,
the
Mom.
drugs are not yours. Just clarify.
There's no drugs in there.
Okay. There's no drugs. You know that for a fact.
Yeah. It's not my truck.
Okay. Wait. You don't know. Okay.
It's not my truck. I can't. God damn it.
Let's just take a step away from the bumper of the car so you're not leaning on it. All right.
I'm not leaving.
Okay, perfect. And just look right at me. Molly, I'm not going to make you walk. I'm not going to make you lift a leg. We have other tests we can do, okay?
Great.
All right. So I need you to stand with your feet together. Okay? Arms flat down by your sides for me. All right.
Oh,
Do you wear
there wasn't
contacts
any
or
drugs?
glasses? You do,
Oh, that's
and you're not
cool.
wearing them right now?
I have my contacts in.
You have your contacts in. Okay, and
They're
any
really dry.
any medications other than the hydro that you took?
I took a hydro. I took a cold medicine.
Cold medicine?
That's it.
Okay. When did you take the hydro? Ish.
I don't even know what time it is now.
Me neither.
7.
7 p.m.
Can I look at my phone and see when I was home?
No, that's okay. If you can hazard a guess, it doesn't really make a huge difference.
That's the problem. It was. God damn it. I think, was he even paying attention?
Okay, what about the cold medicine? Did you take the hydro and the cold medicine at the same time? Okay. Anything else? You take a multivitamin?
No.
Okay.
Not even my iron.
Not even a women's daily?
Nope.
Come on, Molly.
No, I don't.
We gotta take our vitamins here. Okay, so I need you to stand with your feet together for me, please.
I take other stuff because I have an immune deficiency.
Okay.
I ended up in a coma.
Okay, kratom or anything like that? Okay.
I take specific ones because they help with my immunity. It's my lungs. I was in a coma.
Okay. All right.
Years ago.
All the way up for me, hands by your sides.
Damn it. Jimmy, get here, please.
I'll get there.
Okay. And can you look at me, please?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I need you to remain in that position until I tell you to move, okay?
I will.
All right.
Very
So I need you to look at the tip of my pen and follow the tip of my pen with your eyes and only your eyes, okay?
The DoorDash driver.
Don't move your head at all.
Mm-hmm. Mikey Hush.
I feel bad for her. Can you turn your head straight for me?
I don't feel bad for driving intoxicated at all or under the influence. I think it's easy to make excuses for that, but do I feel bad for probably what's a contributor to her stress and anxiety? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. So you can stay in that position for this next one. Give me just a second. My kids took my watch off the charger, so I'm going to have to improvise.
Of course I'm sure. But how relevant is her testimony? We don't know.
Okay, Molly. So for this next one, same position. I want you to tip your head back and close your eyes when I tell you to begin. You don't have to do it quite yet. Okay? Tip your head back, close your eyes, and estimate the passage of 30 seconds. When I tell you to begin, you don't have to start yet.
Oh yeah, Tracy? Interesting. Gray and Daniel
look at me. We're not starting yet.
simultaneously.
I know, I'm just waiting for you to
Okay, so when I tell you to begin, you're going to tip your head back, close your eyes, and estimate the passage of 30 seconds. When you've hit 30 seconds, you're going to look back at me, okay? All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to demonstrate that one for obvious reasons. Okay.
This one's spring.
All right, you can begin. Yeah, they got it from somewhere else though.
All right. Fast. Real fast. Why would you think that? Last time I got it perfect, so usually I don't get it right the second time. How'd you count? In my head. Well, I got that. What did it sound like in your head? 1, 2, 3. All right. And you're saying your body is in no condition to do any walking or standing or balancing? All my it's up to you. Joints are all messed up. My knees dislocate, my hips dislocate. I can't walk. Okay. Like everybody else. Want to give you a fair shot if you got it. Yeah, I have my keys. That's where you put the truck key on. Is Aaron there? Yeah, I'll try to get okay, Molly. Great. Molly, at this time you are under arrest for DUI, okay? I believe you're under the influence. Go ahead and turn around and put your hands behind your back for me, please. Please, can you put my phone? He's coming to get the truck.
Who is?
My boyfriend is his truck.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the second time that you've been arrested for DUI.
You said I wasn't arrested last time.
You were.
Oh, great.
We're still waiting on blood results from that one.
I know.
So,
I know.
is there anything illegal in the truck?
Hey, Molly. I want my truck.
Okay.
Let me get through a couple of...
We're going to go ahead and run a canine around it. If it alerts to the presence of narcotics in it, it'll be seized pending the application of a search warrant. Do you understand that?
You just talk to my boy. Jimmy, you hear the
Hey, smoking bread?
No, I'm
Hey, you
I
know.
wouldn't worry about it. Jimmy, we're going to tow your truck, so don't worry about coming and getting it.
Molly. You're towing it this time. Hey, Molly, you got to pay attention to me for a minute. I'm listening. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Okay,
You have the
well,
right to
we're
an
gonna tow it.
attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you at no cost if you desire. Okay, and you can choose to exercise these rights at any time. You have the right to have that attorney present before you answer any questions or make any statements. Okay, and you can choose at any time to decline to make any statements or to request an attorney. Do you understand, Molly? Okay, and you are being audio and video recorded. It is 7:25 on Wednesday, September 4th. Okay. Do you have anything on you that's going to poke, stick, or cut me? Okay. Do you have anything in the car that you want to go to jail with you? No, I want my stuff to go in the truck. Okay, do you want your phone to go with you or do you want your phone to go in the truck? I want my phone to go in the truck because I want my husband to have it. Okay. But he just said the truck's probably getting towed. So, do you want the phone? What do I do? Okay. I would want my phone if I were you, so I could call for a ride if I end up needing one. Well, you're very clearly under the influence, Molly. Okay. All right, go ahead and widen your stance a little bit for me. I want to make sure you don't have anything sharp on you. Okay.
I mean, you know, it's obvious that she's under the influence of, I don't know, like she said hydrocodone, you know, like I'm not talking about alcohol. I don't think I'm not watching this to try to figure out, you know, are they valid in arresting her versus what she shares during the arrest. But I think it's very obvious that she is most likely under the influence of something and is not in the right state of mind to drive. But we could sit here and argue all day. One, are the cops at fault for whatever, you know, both things can be true at the same time. But I'm sure what she's gone through plays a large role in honestly, I can't imagine what every single one of these people interconnected in this case has gone through. I don't want to imagine the toll it's taken on them.
Right.
much as you can. Okay, I know. I still gotta check. It'd be crazy if I didn't check, right? I still gotta do my job. Pullman 458, one in custody. Also.
Either way, if she had a dislocated leg and hip, she shouldn't be driving anyway.
Vehicle and driver. Here, turn around this way for me just a little bit so that way I don't have to turn you so much, okay? I'll get all of those, okay? You need what? You need in front? In front? Yeah, I can put them in front. Give me just a second to get these coins, okay? Can you take a step back so I can get the coins?
This is the DoorDash driver, Miss Bread, who,
Alright, let me get the
what I'm
coins before I
understanding, got
forget
pulled
about them,
over
and then I'll put them in
for
front.
the belief of being under the influence. She admitted she was on medication. So that's really all I know.
Now, per Officer Axon, it was also revealed that this was her second DUI arrest in 9 months. So it's kind of hard to hear. The woman is asking, have you been in trouble before? And it kind of sounds like Molly saying, this is my first time in trouble. But I don't know. She looks away. She doesn't want to look at the officer. She doesn't show her face much, which is a good thing since she's a big witness, if true, in a big trial coming up. But she was eventually given a citation with a mandatory court appearance, and she was released. So she only stayed there kind of like late, I think, until around midnight. The time you see in the corner is advanced time, so it's actually not as late as some people are thinking. That's why it actually happened on September 4th, 2024. Molly's case is still open, and all suspects are presumed to be innocent.
What'd you say, Shay?
It seems like the channel that she got it from, that Officer Axon, his channel is like body cam videos, and so it had posted like 8 months ago. So I don't know how somebody came across that.
Wow.
But I tried to send you a screenshot so you could at least
You
see it.
did. It says on September 4th, 2024, Whitman County Sheriff's deputies stopped a truck for expired registration. Pullman Police Officer Carpenter soon arrived as backup. The 43-year-old driver of the truck was suspected of driving under the influence of prescription medications. It was decided that Officer Carpenter would handle the DUI investigation. The woman was eventually arrested for DUI and was transported to the Pullman Police Station. A drug recognition expert was called in to interview the woman. It was also revealed that this was her second DUI arrest in 9 months. She was eventually given a citation with a mandatory court appearance, and she was released. Her case is still open, and all suspects are presumed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Now, it doesn't say her name or anything there. So, again, I'd love to know who figured this out. Hi, Robin.
Yeah. I don't, unless somebody's just interested in stuff and put 2 and 2 together as they were listening to it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. You know, to be fair, I watch cop videos all the time, but not, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if you read the screenshot of the one I had sent you before, that probably don't want to bring up that channel's name, but it looks like they may have gone a different route, looking through maybe DoorDasher IDs or something. I don't know. I'd want to know how they did that through court docs.
They probably didn't. They're probably a fucking liar and just saying they got it that way.
Yeah. But it's also brought up because the woman is next to a white truck. I saw that people in some subreddit groups are starting to bring back old threads of, remember the white truck that passed by the girls, you know, when they were at the grub truck, and now there's more conspiracy because of what she's pulled over for and what, you know, the unfortunate circumstances of her husband's death. They're trying to now continue this thing of it being, you know, leaked to drugs and all that stuff.
Dear Lord.
Yeah.
Does this girl look like does she look like she's part of some huge cover-up conspiracy drug ring, or come on.
She just looks like she's has a rough life right now.
Yeah, she's just rough.
Proven guilty in a court of law, just like Bryan Kohberger.
I'm gonna come looking for you, Jimmy. Huh?
Thank you. So back, same way as in the back. There you go. Perfect.
I just want to see if people are going to take ownership. That's my. When doing my job, right? I like to see if people are going to take ownership, or if they're denying. I'm not going to report. Okay. So,
Nerve damage. She wanted him in front.
Yeah,
he did it for me last night. I didn't want to.
Molly, I know you gotta get some help, girl.
I don't even have anything to do with Justin anymore, or any of them.
Drug, you gotta get help with drugs.
Molly, you sure you don't have any needles on you?
No, I don't have any here.
Okay. Because I'm breastfeeding the baby. I really don't want to get stuck. Okay.
Wow.
I don't like that stuff not breastfeeding a baby.
Right, but damn.
I think they lied about that, Justin.
Okay, we're going to go to my car. I'm right behind.
Jimmy! Jimmy!
Jimmy?
I know, but I need to know where he wants me to use my phone and my keys.
Well, that's up to you.
Yeah, they're your
I know, I would like to talk to him. He's on my phone.
You can talk to him after. Right now, you
I
don't
know,
have
but we're
a
not going to leave until we have your phone and your keys.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave without your property.
I don't know.
September
Because
2024.
he can't drive a Subaru without them.
He can,
Oh, yeah,
he can drive a Subaru without your phone, though.
Yeah.
And if you end up needing the keys, then one of them will bring me the keys.
Jimmy!
We'll just solve our problems.
Yeah. Let's go back to her car. You can talk to him in a second.
Please, just let me talk to him. Why?
Sounds like he's having a real fun conversation with your boyfriend, so I'm going to leave him alone.
This is my phone. It is my phone. It's not his phone. I don't know what car I'm going to. The car.
The Pullman one. I realized I didn't tell you that. So.
What do you want? Done with your dog? I don't understand that. You're going to have to speak English.
No, Tracy. That's why I'm curious what her relevance and testimony will be.
Why are you not letting me talk to him? Well, so last time you let me talk to him.
Hey, Molly, put your hands on the car so I can unlock and get you to sit down.
Carla, did you watch Pete's and Geeks yet?
Yeah.
From Super Troopers.
Molly, what's right here?
When does she start talking about it?
I think she talks like a little bit throughout it, like she makes comments.
All right, have a
but I
seat.
know that.
You know that what?
I know that the one, because remember I only watched Drunk Turkey Show, so I know like he played a small portion. It looked like she was already maybe in intake.
Okay, so I could fast forward to intake.
Well, I don't know what else she says because like I don't know if he's reading something or if he's just reading stuff from his source. Can you confirm, Harlot? I didn't get to watch it all the way through, and I know she watched it.
Now we're about to be at intake anyways.
Okay, yeah, we're about to be there.
Thank you, Holly. Hello, Jade.
Can I explain it? Take it to her real quick.
Oh, yeah. You can explain your ticket real quick.
I'm surprised she's not more snotty. She's got the sniffles, but it hasn't been wet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not gonna be able to do on that stand.
Other side, please. Someone open the door. And then you can have a seat in that chair, okay?
I think Bill Topsa was a prosecutor at her husband's murder.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Alcohol or drugs? Alcohol or drugs?
Hello, Misfit.
Pullman 458 case number and time of custody.
In a different room than this?
I think it's, yeah.
Okay.
So, Molly, the reason why they call me is because I specialize in drug impairment, and I get a lot of extra training and learn about different issues that can mimic drug impairment, including medical conditions, and I've evaluated numerous people.
On her glasses?
Some I have found to be under the influence of drugs, some I have found to be impaired by medical conditions, and some I have found to not be impaired at all. My understanding is that you were arrested for DUI tonight, and that you have a ton of medical conditions. I was curious if you would be willing to talk with me about what's going on and let me look at some things like your eyes, your vital signs, things like that. Is that something that you would be willing to do? Just you what? Okay. Did you have questions for me? I'm scared. What's going on with your stomach?
It feels like I have an ulcer. They call it an MS hug, but I'm not sure.
What they call a what?
We looked it up. Some people call it an MS hug.
An MS hug? And
it just causes my sometimes there's no irritation.
Okay.
It's really bad. My brother looking at it.
Right? I think they're attached to her.
When you're stressed out.
Yes.
Okay. So, this is your first time in trouble? Okay. It is definitely stressful. I have seen this happen quite a bit. But, like, at the end of the day, you are going to go home. And our goal is to make sure people are safer on the roadways.
I wasn't trying crazy. You know, with my dad's.
Okay. Who pulled you over?
Jordan.
Okay.
I don't know, Rando. She said her hip was dislocated, her leg was I don't know.
And she's said several times she has MS.
Oh, she did?
So
Yeah, she said it whenever she had gotten pulled over. Or she had
do
like
you think the
fibromyalgia,
officers
MS.
arrested you
Got it. Okay, thank
because
you.
of your medical
I
conditions,
don't know,
or
Justin.
did
But
you
I don't know.
actually use drugs?
I took a pain pill quite a while ago.
Okay.
I've been on them for years and years.
No registration. So there's that.
Yeah, like she'll get to a point I think where she'll say like she thinks
So
it's
one of the officers
the timing
actually
of her
expressed that they believe you were
arrest
under the
is
influence of
coincidental.
stimulants. Did you take a stimulant today?
I have an immune system deficiency. I get sick and it gets bad really quick.
So,
When I was in 2003, I was just all of a sudden sick, and then within 24 hours, I was put in a drug induced coma, and my body was completely filled with fluid. That body was completely filled with fluid. My temperature level got over 99 until I was halfway to Spokane, Oregon.
Okay.
I have to watch my health.
You have to watch your what?
Watch my health pretty careful.
Okay. What medical conditions do you have?
I have rheumatoid arthritis. I have fibromyalgia. I have CMA.
Yes, so you have arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
My joints are always dislocating.
Be safe, Samantha.
I also
I'm gonna grab some water, but I'm still listening.
shoulders and arms. I forget what it's called. Basically, I would hit a blood flow and against my arm.
Okay.
Because my chest is too large. It's covered. I don't work all the time.
No, okay, no.
Did a doctor
This is the
diagnose
DoorDash
that,
driver.
or
My doctor includes yes, they're all diagnosed.
okay?
I have PTSD. I have depression. I have insomnia.
Yeah,
My
apparently,
husband
Samantha.
murdered in front of me. He was shot 9 times.
My husband murdered in front of me. Ugh.
Where did that happen?
In Moscow.
In Moscow. When was that? Who was your husband?
Charles McMichael, you shot me in the
Hmm. And
now I have to testify. Big part of this here, so yeah, because I'm a DoorDash driver, so yeah.
Oh.
you have to testify in which murder?
Murder case for college program.
Oh, okay. She said, and now I have to testify too in the girl's murder case because I was the DoorDash driver. Oh, wow.
Big part of this here, so yeah, because I'm a DoorDash driver, so yeah.
You have to testify in which murder?
Murder case for college program.
Oh.
I'm a DoorDash driver, so very next to
Indeed, Molly sounds like she has definitely been through a lot of trauma when you watch the body cam coming up, having experienced this tragic death of her husband and a lot of other unfortunate events she describes, even though it's very difficult to understand her at times. So I've enhanced the audio the best I could. But the line that stands out the most, the one everyone's talking about, is when Molly claims she has to testify again. This time in the big murder case of the college girls. So she says college girls. She doesn't quite say, and Ethan. But the authority responds and just says, oh, and leaves it at that, leaving only the sounds and the sights of her scribbling on her, pad of paper in the pregnant air. It's like she can't believe She's talking to this woman and what this woman has just confessed.
Okay. So you think it's all of those issues that make it look like you're under the influence of drugs? Okay. Molly, how do you spell your first name? And do you have a middle initial? And then how do you spell? And when's your birthday? 12/29/80. Okay. And do you have a Washington driver's license? Idaho. Where do you currently live?
My boyfriend, the address I explained it to her, but down my parents' address, my address is.
Where do your parents live?
Awesome.
Okay. So how long have you taken the pain pill that you took? You said you've been taking it for years?
I don't know. Medication for years.
For how many years?
Mercedes starting. So much from my first, and when my husband died, so that was in 13. We started on
Hydrocodone? Okay. So was it a
See, is it prescribed?
You what? And so was it a hydrocodone that you took? Okay. So you didn't take any blues or fentanyl or anything like that?
That's true, Leon. She doesn't look good though. Blue is a oxycodone.
How long ago did you take the hydrocodone? A while ago. Was it morning time or later? Afternoon time.
This is their secret witness.
Do what?
This is their secret witness.
Without looking, what time do you think it is? And what is today's date?
Of course, two things can be true at once, Samantha, right? You can have sympathy, empathy, acknowledge what she's gone through, and be able to say you shouldn't be driving like that. You know? Two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
What have you eaten today and when? So you've just had one can of soup today?
Yeah, it's really upset. And I'm so hung up.
Okay.
I actually think this intake officer seems she's being pleasant.
Yeah.
What have you had to drink today and when?
I have had a couple from that. Different brands. I have had a couple from cappuccino one. I love the water.
How long did you sleep for last night?
Last night I was ready.
When did you last sleep? How long? Oh, I'm sorry? How long did you sleep for?
I can't hear a word she's saying.
Yeah, I'm glad you got the subtitles on.
So, are you injured at all? No injuries. And your illnesses include fibromyalgia. You have what? I'm so sorry, I couldn't hear you. Been through a lot. Are you diabetic?
No.
Do you take insulin for any reason? Are you epileptic? Do you have any physical impairment? Are you under the care of a doctor or dentist? Okay. Who is the doctor that you work with?
I have a hard time because I haven't found any doctor yet.
Who was your last doctor?
Sandy.
Sandy?
Is that Plunder will have just a
and
couple minutes of commentary in a minute.
Last name or first name? Shortman. Doctor or a nurse practitioner?
Yeah, Jada.
So aside from the hydrocodone that you had today that you've taken for years, what else have you had?
Cold medicine this morning.
What type of cold medicine?
I was sick bed. I have to be careful.
DoorDash driver Wolfie.
I was just fine. Within 24 hours, I was getting ready to spend my shift with sleeping 2 weeks on ventilator. And don't put me on anything or anything. I was 40 pounds. My right elbow completely hurt. My left arm so pushing out. It's so confusing. The morning I got it. I think it's so cancer. Between something else.
Molly, could I get your pulse?
Where is this camera attached to, Shay? I think it's really attached right here. The specialist is being very kind to her.
Unless she's wearing some kind of hat or.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. That's bizarre.
I don't know. It's strange. Is it on her glasses? I swear it's on her glasses. Good night, Chase. The whole time, Samantha. The whole time. Do they have? don't think I've ever seen that. That random.
People all over the interwebs are debating what type of witness Molly will be once she takes the stand and whether it will help or hurt the case. In the meantime, please go show love to Officer Axon, who I believe, in my opinion, might be the original content creator who first published this body cam video. I like to give credit where credit is due. So hopefully if he or she is the person who initiated this FOIA and received it, then kudos to you. 2 Peter 3, 8 through 9. Nevertheless, do not let this one fact escape your notice, beloved, that with the Lord, one day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like one day. The Lord does not delay as though never heard of him. Thanks so much for watching.
Is it over?
Yeah, because where is the part that I was parked next to Kohberger?
Okay, so Molly, it's completely up to you on what you want to do. If you want to participate, tell me yes. If you don't want to participate, tell me no. I just okay. So Molly, look at me.
No.
Can you look at me, please? Why can't you look at me?
No, so there's that, because the general public doesn't matter what we think.
You just don't want to look. You can't even look at your boyfriend when what? Okay. Okay. If I can't even get you to look at me, I don't know how we're gonna move forward. So I'm just gonna have you go sit back in the cell. Molly, it's very rare that I come across people that are having this many issues.
I've never been in trouble.
Okay.
My brother died when I was 4 years old. That started the trauma. Suicide, rapes, committed twice. I've been beaten. I had multiple guys. Car accidents. It doesn't matter.
No, I mean, trust me, people don't call us when they're having a good day. In fact, we very rarely see people on a good day. I've seen trauma. I've experienced trauma. A shit ton of it.
September 2024.
All right, I'm gonna have you go sit back in your cell. You're just gonna sit in the cell until they're ready to release you. Molly, do you have problems with tight spaces? Is that the issue? Oh, so Molly, I already know you've been arrested for DUI before.
He took me to the hospital. He gave me blowjobs and let me go.
That's an arrest for DUI.
He told me actually I wasn't under arrest. When I said I was under arrest, he said I wasn't. So yeah, I didn't think.
Okay. Well, go ahead and you can head back into the cell.
Yeah. Did I miss the part where she said?
Well, how much longer is that last?
Let's do your fingerprints, photographs, and get you out of here. Leave a blanket in there.
Not much. 5 minutes. Maybe.
Yeah, you're back.
Let's do
You're back up against this blue wall.
Oh, I'm invested at this point. I'm gonna finish it out.
Yeah. That's all right. Just look straight ahead of this camera. Okay. Leave your body still, but turn your head all the way to the right. So this way. Leave your body still. Turn your head all the way to the right. Look at that dot over there. See that red one?
Turn my head that far.
That's as far as you can. Okay. Can you look back at this camera straight ahead? I had to retake that one. You good on both? Okay, all right. I don't know, Officer Carpenter went over all this paperwork with you, but I'm going to go over with you again just so you are well aware of all the different codes. This piece of paper is the criminal citation. I'll take a pen. Anytime someone is arrested, they get one of these, unless they get put in jail. So it has your information, where this all occurred, vehicle information, and the criminal charge, driving under the influence. Up on the top part, there's all the court information, but essentially what this part says is the next 15 days, they're going to be mailing you a packet of papers to this address. If that is incorrect, or you want your paperwork to go somewhere else, call the court. Their phone number, website, mailing address right here. Why it's important to have a good address is if they assign you a court date and send you paperwork about that and you don't show up, there'll be a warrant for your arrest.
Wait, does he not say it, Peach? I did not go through all of that.
So, as Officer Carpenter explained, you have court at 1 p.m. at that location, Pullman. You might have a Pullman day, so it's just across the parking lot. Okay, have to be there. Don't show up, there's a warrant for your arrest. This piece of paper is your right to a hearing. And so this is for the potential upcoming suspension of your license. If you like that opportunity, make sure you fill this out, send it in. Again, you only have 7 days from today to mail it in. That's your registration for the vehicle. Looks like this was maybe you handed it to her or something. Oh no, this is the deputy. The deputy pulled you over. Looks like he issued you a citation for failing to renew your registration. Did he explain this to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Just remember, check 4 boxes, 1 to 4 boxes, mail it in within 3 days. And now, this is your copy of the breath ticket that detects alcohol. Just shows that you had all zeros, no alcohol in the system. Okay. Now that you got your property back, I just need a signature right here that we gave you everything that we're holding on to. All right. Just grab you that. Your paperwork. This door here without a window. You're gonna push hard on it. Push hard on the second door, and you'll be right in the lobby. And you can make phone calls for someone to pick you up. You're welcome. Thank you. You too.
That's it?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Let's watch it from that one point. Maybe we missed something that he was able to grab.
What the hell? Right there. See, I'm the DoorDash driver. I saw Bryan there. I parked right next to him. I missed that last 2 sentences, apparently, like, because where was that?
I mean, when she was first getting detained.
Okay, I've got a weird feeling of. Okay, I've got a.
What?
Which part of it? Oh.
Oh, okay.
I parked next to him.
Dude, you're telling me we could have just listened. You're telling me we could have just listened to the first minute. Are you kidding me? We went through over an hour. And all we needed to do was just listen to that first minute. Okay. Well, interesting. What are your thoughts, Shay?
I think it's unfortunate of this coming out the way it is. And I don't know. I don't want to, I would hope that whatever like she's gone through isn't used against her as credibility of a witness if she wasn't having any impairment issues during, her work hours that evening, So
Mhm.
I don't even know what to think of it, because I just want to be like sensitive to that. Like, this isn't even the same time frame, and I think it's really interesting people came across it. And
Super interesting. Hold on. Oh, okay. I was like, my skin feels weird, but like when it gets an imprint from sitting too long in a spot.
Yeah.
I think my skin imprinted. That sounds so weird. I think my skin imprinted, but it bugged me out for a second. Okay. Hi, Scarlett. So I don't think what she's been through is going to be used as a credibility issue versus what we're obviously looking at. And so again, we could debate all day. She's been through a lot of trauma, of course. She's got medical issues, ailments, absolutely. But with that being said, that is going to be an issue if you put her up on the stand. As far as where maybe it's just this night, but she cannot communicate. But I cannot imagine them putting her on the stand if she was like this. I don't see it. Like, what? The only thing I can imagine them putting her up on the stand is if she actually had eyes on passing Kohberger's vehicle. The likelihood that she would be able to testify that was him at 4 a.m. and actually got a visual and was able to identify him, I think that that's incredibly unlikely anyway.
Right.
So it would be identifying suspect vehicle 1 in passing him. But she said if Plunder's translation is correct, I parked right next to him. Where? You're saying he was where? Unless it was in the back. Remember when the circles in the back where you could see the clear shot of the balcony? Unless she parked, where else would, like, he wasn't stationary. He kept doing circles.
Right. And that's what was confusing, because I had not listened to Plunder, and I had listened to Daniel's, and his source information, where it describes it describes more information. I mean, it's not all from, what we're hearing from this body cam, but what I heard on Daniel's sounded maybe a little bit more believable, because I don't remember him saying like a park situation as much as it sounds like, they may have, passed by one another, or he passed by when she was out, like, delivering the order, I'm really, really curious.
Okay.
And man, I'm wondering if she's been, out talking,
Okay, let's see. So it's 1920.
Yeah, he plays this small clip, and then he talks about his source info and what he got back then. And it's like a friend of hers that he had talked to.
Okay.
Let's listen to what she said.
When was that? Who was your husband?
Charlie Michael, you shot him in the head.
And
Now I have to testify. I'm okay, serious, so yeah, because I'm good. I should have heard, so yeah.
you have to testify in which murder?
Murder case, college girl.
Oh.
I do it for myself right now. Why are you so?
It's very hard to hear, with all the noise in the background. I try to bring down the background noise as much as I could without it affecting her voice. What she says is that her husband was murdered in front of her, shot 9 times, and she went through that trauma, and then now she's also testifying. And what she's testifying to is that she's the DoorDash driver in the Bryan Kohberger case. She says she saw Bryan, and that he was right next to her. Now, I wanted to read something to everybody that was sent to me a while ago. And again, I don't break things until
it makes a
things
lot
come
more,
out that are a little bit.
shit. Wait a second. It makes a lot more sense if she said he was right next to me versus parked next to me. See the difference that one simple word can make.
Yeah, that's why I thought, like, when I saw the title of Plunders, it was different of the interpretation I had heard from Daniel.
Mm-hmm. No, it'd make much more sense if she said he was right next to me, because that we know to be likely true.
Remember, Steve even said that based on what he could tell of the footage that he had saw from 1112 King, that he thought that, you know, they had passed by. You know, it seems like that timing could have been possible.
Correct. But he was sent something.
Sources.
Right. My charger.
What?
My laptop charger picked up all of these paper clips.
God. Oh, and she's gone. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. She yeeted herself. Oh, she paperclip yeeted herself.
Jeez, I giggled myself off stage. Hold on.
You paperclip yeeted yourself.
I went to go plug my charger in and do you see it? I was like, my, this is heavy. And I pulled it out.
Is that an antenna? I'm just kidding.
That looks ridiculous. Okay. He was sent this a while ago, he said.
Mm-hmm. And what he reads, like, kind of makes more sense to me based on what I could make out.
Okay. So let's see.
That I have corroborating evidence, so to speak, right? And so this is one of them. I'm not going to say who this person is or anything, but she goes on to say that she works with somebody who's a friend, very close friend, who is the DoorDash driver. She's a middle-aged woman who specifically remembers seeing the white vehicle pass by the house a number of times in a short period of time in which she was at the house. As she was walking to the house and she looked up, the driver of the car was looking at the home and her as a drive-by, and it was a male who was later identified by her friends, hold on, let me read this again. This is kind of far away. All righty. So as she was walking to help me all to leave, the white car once again was passing the house, and she looked up and the driver of the car was looking at the home and her as a drive-by, and it was a male who was later identified by her as a friend over her. When he's seen the car pass by, that honestly that kind of is confusing to me, but when he's seen the car pass by the house into the direction, he was looking into the direction of the house, and she noticed at the same time the light on the second floor of the home was on, and the female was in a window watching the car drive by as well. There you go. I missed the sentence. Sorry about that, guys. It's a small print. Alrighty, so
interesting, right?
A girl was very close friends with the DoorDasher. She's a middle-aged woman who specifically remembers seeing a white vehicle pass by the house a number of times in a short period of time in which she was at the house. She was walking to help me at all to leave. See, that one's kind of confusing. I'm not sure what she's trying to say there. The white car once again was passing the house. She looked up and the driver of the car was looking at the home and her. As they drive by, and it was a male who was later identified by her as friend over her. I'm not sure what she was saying, what she meant by that. When he seen the car pass by the house, cut her looking into the direction of the house, and she noticed at the same time that the light on the second floor of the home was on and a female was in the window watching the car drive by as well. After the car disappeared, she remembers the person in the second floor window turned and made eye contact with her and then walked away from the window. She drove away. I don't think anything of it until the next time. So basically what she was trying to say, and I did make contact with this person at one point, and it explains it a lot better when we were on the phone. But basically what she had said was the DoorDasher got there, had seen the light on in the second floor window where Xana was at. She could see
that could make sense.
Who Xana was. She could see a female. And then she saw a white car pass her and then come back around and pass her again. And when she passed her, that the person inside the car was so focused into the house and into the home that they didn't even see her out there. And that she apparently saw what the guy looked like. He wasn't wearing a mask. He wasn't doing any of those things. He was at that time, looking, like intensely at the house, and that there was a light on. I had often said this, and this in part was one of the reasons why I said this, but I said that to me, where Xana, or where all of them live, the King Road residence, it was 122 King Road. But even if you look at like the body cam footage for the 911 calls and the loud music calls, those were for Queen Road. So it's confusing if you're not from the area, and this woman's not from the area. And I also mentioned that given the time of day in which the DoorDash driver dropped off the food, given the time of night that was, or 4 o'clock in the morning, that told me this was an older person. It was also on a Sunday morning. Typically, your younger people are out partying in those times, type of situations and time of night. So I referenced that before, but I had mentioned that because of its confusion, there must have been an indicator, a light on, something to tell the DoorDasher this is where the house is at. And you can't pick your DoorDasher. I know a lot of people, when they saw the MM initials, they were like, "Oh my God, it's this guy that lives over here," because he's friends on social media with somebody else. So what they did was they took the MM and they went through the victim's friends and looked for somebody that had the initials MM. They're like, "Oh my God, we found him." You can't pick your DoorDasher. It's impossible. And so, well, anyways, so to me, there must have been some indicator. That is the reason why I believe that Bryan Kohberger, or the intruder, whoever you want to call him, for those that still disbelieve, drove around multiple times. Whether you believe it's Bryan Kohberger or not, I don't think any of this points actually at Bryan Kohberger at this point. Now, maybe perhaps she is able to identify him through some sort of lineup or something of that nature. That would be great. I don't know, if she has or hasn't. That would be a huge nail in the coffin if that ended up being the case. But she says here in this interview, and it kind of correlates with what I was told multiple years ago, that they came side by side, the DoorDasher and Bryan Kohberger, and she was right next to him. And she said in this interview, "I saw Bryan. He was right next to me." I'll try to play it one more time so you guys can kind of hear, but it's very difficult to understand. But it starts off with her talking about her husband getting shot.
When was that? Who was your husband?
Charles and Michael, you shot me.
And
They find me accused, so yeah, because I'm the DoorDash driver, so yeah.
you have to testify in which murder?
Murder case, college girl.
Oh.
I do it for myself right now. What are you saying? The car accident,
Okay.
Yeah, she says, "I saw Bryan. I was right next to him." And so based on what I was told years ago, where the DoorDasher friend, I'll leave the relationship out of it. The DoorDasher's friend, acquaintance, colleague, family member, whatever you want to say, that Bryan Kohberger had driven right past her, and that she had seen him, but that he was so focused and intensely focused on the house and Xana in the window that he didn't see her. And so now some people might say, how can this affect the case? I don't think it will. Her arrest. One, I don't think that this arrest is going to stick. Now, if the previous one, I don't know. I mean, it's a DWI arrest. I'm surprised that one hasn't gotten released. I'm sure somebody's going to do a freedom of information thing in Michigan.
Okay. Do I think it's possible that the light was on and Xana was somewhat standing at the doors waiting for her? Because it tells you, it pings you like, they're a minute away, they're arriving. Sometimes they call you. Sure. Do I think it's possible that Bryan was so intently staring, because that would have been multiple passes. He started, entered in the area around 3:20 something, right? So his passes started at that point.
I think if we want to see the passes, we may be more beneficial to check out Great Use, because I think he went towards like the middle of his video, kind of breaking down the reality if this could happen. I don't
Right.
know if you want to visually see that. I know you like to see the cars move.
Yeah. Well, and my issue isn't that I think it's far out of the realm of possibilities that Bryan was looking intently as he was making the multiple passes because he was waiting for something, and a light going off makes sense. What I
Right.
think is farther out of my reach of possibilities is for her to be able, if I'm, entertaining this to be true, for her to be able to visually see the driver, be able to identify them, and be able to identify where they were looking. And if I had her up on the stand, I'd be like, you say he was looking intently, right? Let's just say, that's not her words, but let's just say. How were you able to see that? Which side were you on? Were you on the far right passenger side while he was passing? Were you on the left side? How long did you look at him? You were able to see a clear shot of his face through the darkness of 4 a.m. and he had slightly tinted windows, right?
Yeah, I guess I would be curious if we went back and watched the Linda Lane footage that was released of his car coming by, like what the lighting looked like, if there's reflection off of those windows. But I agree. That's what I was thinking, because he would be on the left if she's coming back to her car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand, Michelle. I'm trying to put two and two together. I think it makes sense that a light was on, especially if Xana's expecting a delivery, and like, on the DoorDash, you can track the vehicle was, where they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Could she have been looking out the window? And if we're told that the DoorDash driver delivers at 3:59, I want to see what those passes look like. So I am kind of curious of what that falls in to that range, if that's possible.
I'm just trying to.
And when I sent you the gray one, I was just going off like kind of transcript where he was.
Where's just the passes? I'm trying to look for just the passes.
Let me get it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know. I have the 1 hour video, but I'm looking for just the passes.
Did I send you the 23-minute one, or?
Oh, I didn't know you sent me any. Sorry, I'm just looking.
Oh, you're in the Linda Lane one. Okay, never mind. No, not that Linda Lane one. The one that came
Oh, the
out.
other one?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say Linda Lane. The 11/12 King, whenever that got released by Dateline. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Excuse me for saying that. I was thinking of just curious of the lighting there. I know we can't see further back from that home, but that would be interesting. Do you want a video for it, or do you got
Yeah,
it?
do you have it?
I think. Yeah, I think I know somebody that has that one. Let me get it for you. Sorry.
Oh, I think I got it. Hold on. Okay. Well, okay, hold on.
Here, I just sent you one. Oh, you got it? Okay. I don't know if she would have seen like his actual face, maybe the car.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't make sense to me.
Tom.
We don't know why he would have selected the people he selected.
Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of the murders, will stand trial in Ada County in August. Morrison says Dateline is sharing photos, videos, and other digital materials from the investigation into the murders for the first time. Specifically, this video NBC obtained of a white car investigators say was seen in the area around at the time of the killings.
We're able to tell you what kind of material Bryan Kohberger was downloading on his phone, who he was calling, where he was calling from, when he was calling, what his timeline was.
Yeah. Did you send me a different one?
Yeah, I sent you one from Jay's. It's like an 11-second clip video.
That terrible night, pulling up to the house.
God, I love Keith's voice.
I do too. What do you guys think in chat? Do you think it's possible she could have actually seen him? Other than just the vehicle?
She saw anything other than the vehicle. Definitely not looking intently. But those weren't her words, so I'm not holding her to it.
Right. That's a source. I agree, Leon. You don't want to miss this one.
That terrible night, pulling up to the house just before the murders occurred and speeding away after.
His primary objective now is to get out of there.
It looked dark though.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to see not only Kohberger, but you're going to be able to say that he was intently looking at any. Come on. I don't believe that. My thing fell. I'm just too lazy to fix it. Oh. Okay. So you looked at how many documents we have to catch up on?
Yeah, we have a few. There was, I think, some were just released today too.
I'm not sure.
I think I've heard like witness list and lots of goodies came out. I just have not kept up.
So I don't know what day we're going to be back this week, guys, but we're going to pick a day. And then we're going to catch up on all of the documents. So what are your overall thoughts regarding everything so far?
I think from what we've discussed tonight, I'm probably going to be most interested in what's to come out from the docuseries, honestly.
I'm so excited. We should watch it together.
I definitely would love to.
Yeah.
And the DoorDash driver thing, I think is the whole situation. I have sympathy regardless of what's going on. I don't know. Sometimes, as much as when we want to know everything, I'm okay with not knowing everything until trial. And
we're so close.
Yeah, I get worried that whatever feedback may come from this, because the internets, how that could possibly make this witness feel, I don't know what they saw, but it was apparently it was, pretty big for them to have been held out until we got the probable cause affidavit,
July 11th, Samantha. But even identifying that vehicle is huge. But even the way she said, the girls, I don't know, it feels like she has a bit of a disconnect from the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and she didn't seem to be in a good mental state at that moment either. So I kind of get, keep that in mind a little bit. But yeah, could be a little bit of distancing from it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting for sure, but I don't know. Figuring out who the DoorDash driver was massive. And now I just feel a bit, I don't know. I don't know what I would describe it as. I don't see them putting her on the stand if she is anywhere near that capacity, unless there is a real good reason to.
Only thing I could say, if brought on as a prosecution witness, I think that they would keep the questions pretty narrow for cross.
Maybe limits the cross, yeah.
Yeah, I would think they would keep it very narrow for this witness. Obviously, it's going to probably be what time did you drop off this? Like, I think it's going to be very, very limited. I don't even know if they even really saw anything. Maybe they can't. Maybe they did see a white car. I have no idea, but it's not, in my opinion, I think that the probably bigger witnesses outside of the surviving roommates are going to, be like Hunter and Emily. Just
and
my
Josie
opinion.
now.
And who?
Josie.
Josie?
Wasn't that her name? Josie?
Was that? Oh, I can't remember.
Maybe.
Oh,
maybe
the friend.
I'm wrong. Yeah, I thought it was Josie. But okay, so I guess we'll touch base and we'll figure out which night you want to come back.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited. Like, this is the only thing I've been looking forward to, because so much is happening and trial is right around the corner.
I know.
Right around the corner.
Hey, how do you feel about the docuseries and stuff? I know you asked me, but
I'm so excited to hear from people that we haven't heard from. And when I say that, I don't mean like any dig towards the Goncalveses or anything, versus I'd really love to hear the other families' perspectives, and obviously Hunter. Like, but I also think it's good to see the impact, because what they've gone through is just unimaginable. But do I think it was necessary to do right before trial? No. But I don't hold that on anyone except the mainstream networks,
Right.
I just think you came this far. It's been years. Just get past it, so nothing can be used to try to deter justice for your children,
I know.
But I don't blame them.
I'm really curious of what they have to say. And I would like to hear from some of the people, that were affected by this, like with the accusations that, weren't involved, and how that impacted them. Because even, with the Sigma Chi guy, like with the mask, like people were looking at all the connections and what sororities and fraternities people were in, and diving down deep into their social medias. I mean, I think it was happening so quick before they could lock stuff down, and like rumors were rolling, and it impacted their lives, and even like digging into their families.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be, I feel like we're gonna find out so much more than we could ever imagine.
I completely agree.
And I'm ready for it. It's gonna be months. I feel like we need to make sure to get our rest, because it's gonna be go time. But I'm ready for it.
I need a little break after Karen reads, so I will gladly take the month off.
Take your month, and then it's game time.
I'm so ready for it. Like, this is what I feel like we've been waiting for so long. I want all the answers.
Yep. Oh man.
And I don't know what I know this sounds like crazy, but like I'm even like really looking forward to the justice to, for justice to come, what may, and then what ability we may even have to FOIA some stuff to see what's out there, because a lot of that a lot of new things we'll hear from trial, but there's even more in the discoveries and what comes with it.
And yes, MK, they are. And yep, Samantha, it's going to be super long. But at the same time, it's going to go by very quickly. Believe it or not, it's going to. It's 4 victims. So, but all right. So I'm going to hop off. Thank you so much. And then whichever day we come on next, we got to tackle these documents.
Okay,
these
sounds good.
I don't even know what's up there. I haven't even checked.
I think, yeah, the last time it looked like we were live for Idaho was in, what, May 22nd?
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. Yeah, for Idaho.
There's a hearing on the motion to continue the day after tomorrow. I hope it. Oh, see, I'm nervous about that, Harlot.
I want to read that one, though. That sucks. Okay, well, we'll wait.
Is it a long one?
Let me see. Motion to continue. State's opposite. Yeah, because the state has like a 22-page response. That's long. I might be able to this week. I just need to figure out the schedule.
Yeah, you just let me know, and then we'll
But if
do
you
it.
need to go live and do it, girl, go for it. You're like, I'm
I'm
not gonna
cool
read it.
without you. Yes, Mallory. Like I said, I just need to kind of find my rhythm and get back into it, but that's what this week is supposed to be. So I have to get Natasha for part 2 of the Letitia stuff. So just keep an eye out. We'll be around. But thank you for coming on, and I'm just mind blown with all of this, and I just can't wait. I can't wait.
Me too. All right, good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.